Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon. Wow, I love how the room looks from up here. This is what you guys have been looking at. Wow. All protocols observed. I would like to start by asking us to reflect a question. I want us to take a moment and ask yourself, have you ever gotten to a point where something had gone so wrong that you wondered if your life would ever be beautiful again? Have you gotten to that point? Yes, I have. And that's why, as my co-author has said, when I found the two topics to choose from, something going wrong was definitely what I was going to contribute to, because I have lost a job. I have lost loved ones, people I loved so deeply that I didn't know if I would ever survive that pain or if that pain would ever go down. I have buried dreams. I have known disappointment firsthand. I have known uncertainty. I have lived through seasons where I questioned every single thing about my life because it felt like it was truly falling apart. And perhaps, maybe many of you too have. Maybe it wasn't a job. Maybe it was a marriage. Maybe it was a business. Maybe it was your health or your finances or a friendship or even a child who made choices that you never imagined that they would be making. When things go wrong, our instinct is always to ask, why me? Right? And this afternoon, I want to challenge you, because over the years, as a psychologist, as a mother, and a woman who is simply just trying to navigate life, I have learned to ask a different question. I have learned to ask, who am I becoming because of this? So I want to invite us just to take a moment and think about that situation that went so wrong. Now I want you to say out loud, who am I becoming because of this? Because sometimes life doesn't happen to us. Sometimes it happens for us. Not because pain is good, but because what grows from it can certainly be extraordinary. There was a season I genuinely believed everything was falling apart. And I'm glad that my mother is here today. She can attest to that. Looking back today, I realize that it wasn't falling apart. It was actually falling into place. Losing a job actually made room for greater purpose. I wouldn't be where I am today if I didn't lose that job. But it didn't feel like that at the moment, at that time. Losing a relationship for me has actually made so much room to build healthier ones. Walking through grief has taught me compassion no textbook would have ever taught me. And raising my children alone has revealed a strength that I never knew I possessed. And today, I stand before you, not because my life has been free of storms, but because I discovered something very profound. Storms don't have to define your destination. They can refine it. Before I continue, There are two people I would like to honor. And the first is my mom. Please stand up. Let's give her a round of applause. This is the mother who chose me. Many people assume that books begins with authors. Sometimes I begin with mothers. One day, I remember going home one of the evenings, and I was just complaining about everything. You know the way you're asked, how was your day? How are you doing? And you go about your job, your boss, you know, everything that is happening around you. And she asked me the question, if you were your own patient, what would you tell yourself? And that question changed everything. Actually, that question inspired me to write the chapter, Building Resilience, the Courage to Remain Whole. Another time, I was talking to her on phone. The usual, you know, fuel has gone up, cost of living is so high, and she was so silent. And I wondered for a moment, is she listening? And then she said, you better thank God that you've not had to park your car at home because you did not have fuel. And that statement right there changed something inside me, because that statement changed my perspective from scarcity to gratitude. And I think a lot of times we get lost in that scarcity mentality and wanting just to rant over and over. So thank you, Mom, for believing in me before I could even believe in myself. Yes. Thank you for also reminding me that perspective is often the beginning of healing. I would also like to honor my dad, who was supposed to be here until yesterday evening. My father has taught me compassion, integrity, but above all, he has taught me, and my siblings are here as well, to follow God's purpose. One of the first conversations after school, I remember telling my dad, I need a job. I think most children go back and say, you know, can you hook me up with a job? And he told me that if it's a job you want, you can get a job. But what you might want to look into is building a career. And if you want to build a career, you have to be willing to start from zero, all the way from the ground, and build it up. And that is why I stand here today, because I didn't go for the job. I went for the career, which means I had to start from volunteering and earning 5,000 shillings up until today. And I'm so grateful for that. Parents, their presence, they remind me of something that I also want to say to every parent seated here, every guardian, every mentor, every grandparent, every teacher here today, that children are always watching. And I'm so glad to see a child there. Children are always watching. They are learning resilience not from the advice that we give them, but from our example. They watch how we respond to disappointment, whether we rest. They are watching whether we apologize. They are watching whether we forgive. They are also watching whether we ask for help. And above all, they are watching if we choose hope. Long before our children ever read a book, we are writing those chapters in our lives. And that is why I wanted this message not only to come from me, but from the next generation. And I thank Zion and Trademark for allowing my children to be here this afternoon. Please come and join me. I have asked them to read a short excerpt from my chapter, because resilience should never skip a generation. Please come. These are truly my children, even though I hear we look like siblings.
Good afternoon. I'm Jabali Mbugua. I want to read this extract from the book. Gathoni Mbugua's first son, firstborn child here. Okay. When things go wrong, and yes, they will. The question is not simple. Can you survive this? The deeper question is, can you survive this without losing yourself? True resilience is not simply recovery. It is integration. It is a capacity to face adversity without abandoning yourself.
Good afternoon. My name is Imani Wanjiko. I'm Gathoni's second-born daughter, or some people like saying I'm her last-born. I will read a short excerpt from her book chapter. Resilience is not silence. Resilience is not self-erasure. Resilience is not how much you can carry while pretending you're not tired. Resilience is the courage to feel without collapsing, the discipline to rest without guilt, humility to ask for help, the wisdom to regulate before reacting.
Thank you so much. This is, please have your seat. If you have a young child, please enjoy every moment with them before they start refusing your hugs. Just, yes. People often tell me that I hope your children inherit your success. But this afternoon, and at least over the last 6 months, my prayer has completely been different. I truly hope that they inherit my healing, because success without healing is exhausting. Achievement without peace is expensive. And resilience without self-awareness eventually becomes self-abandonment. Every day, I sit with people who believe life is over. People navigating grief, burnout, anxiety, depression, heartbreak, trauma, and every day, ladies and gentlemen, I witness miracles every day. Miracles that medicine alone cannot be able to explain. Every day I watch people rebuild, laugh again, dream again, love again, and believe again. And this is why I know with absolute certainty that things can go wrong without your life going wrong. No one reaches purpose alone. And today I'm truly honored to have been joined by incredible people from my family, my children, members of my real group, my friend who traveled all the way from Kakamega. Can see doctors there from AR Hospital. It is an honor, because this is what resilience looks like, not doing life alone. Healing happens in relationships, and growth happens in the community. I would also like to recognize my fellow co-authors. Please stand up. Yes. Each of you each of us, let me say that, has brought a unique story and a unique perspective. And together, we remind the world that while our journeys may differ, hope belongs to all of us. And thank you so much for sharing your hearts. Please have a seat. To Zion Pearl Publishers. Where is Celine? Celine has done such amazing work of the back and forth. You and your amazing team, thank you for believing that books still change lives, for creating platforms where stories inspire generations. This is your day too. To Mr. Doso Radido, would you kindly stand? Yes. Thank you for having the courage to imagine this project long before the rest of us could even see it. Please have a seat. When I first opened your message on LinkedIn, and I'm so happy that it came from LinkedIn, because as the head of digital, I keep telling people that it doesn't matter what you're doing if nobody knows about it, right? And we are living in a digital space. So please keep putting your stories out there. But when I first read your message, there was such a roller coaster of emotions that came over me. It took me, I think, 2 days to respond. First, I was surprised, is this real or not? And then I became so excited, a book? And finally came the overwhelming question, can I really do this? Would I be able, if I say yes, would I actually be able to write? But I've learned something about myself over the years. My instinct is always to say yes first, and then trust God, to figure it out along the way. And I'm so glad I said yes. I am incredibly grateful that I said yes, and thank you for also believing in me. Please let's give Mr. Doso another round of applause. As I come to a close, I'd like to leave you with one thought. When things go wrong, don't waste that pain. Allow it to deepen your compassion, strengthen your faith, refine your character, and redirect your purpose. Because one day, that chapter that you wanted to skip may become the chapter that saves someone's life. I lost a job, and God gave me purpose. I lost relationships, and God gave me a community. I walked through grief, and God gave me compassion. I raised my children through uncertainty, and today they stood here right beside me. And every day I have the privilege of watching patients rise, families healed, and lives transformed. If my story teaches you anything, let it be this, that your greatest loss may simply be making room for your greatest achievement. So, when things go wrong, don't ask, is my story over? Don't ask, why me? Instead, ask, what chapter is God writing next? Because when things go wrong, God is often writing the chapter that changes everything. Thank you for believing in stories. Thank you for believing in healing. And thank you for believing hope is never lost. May God bless you all.